Hannah Foster, 16 years old, bright smile, infectious laugh, loved photography, dreamed of traveling the world. She was loved deeply by her family and friends. Hannah had her whole life ahead of her, a life full of promise and potential. She lived in a quiet town, a place where everyone knew their neighbors. Life moved at a slower pace. It was the kind of place where kids could still be kids. Hannah felt safe there. She had a close-knit group of friends. They shared secrets, dreams, and laughter. Life wasn't always easy, but Hannah faced challenges with her chin held high. She was a fighter, a dreamer. She believed in the good in the world, and she brought out the best in others. Hannah's light shone brightly. It was Friday night. Music pulsed, laughter filled the air. Hannah was out with friends, celebrating a birthday, a night of carefree fun. The hours flew by. It was time to head home. Hannah's friend walked her to the bus stop. They hugged goodbye. Hannah smiled and promised to call later. She watched as her friend disappeared around the corner. Then she turned and walked towards home. She never made it. The next morning, panic set in. Hannah wasn't home. Her parents frantically called her friends. No one had seen her. Fear turned to terror. Something was terribly wrong. They called the police. A missing person report was filed. The search for Hannah began. Days turned into nights. Hope dwindled. The police worked tirelessly, following every lead, interviewing friends and families, scouring the town for clues. The investigation hit a wall, then a breakthrough, a silent emergency call. The call was traced to Hannah's phone. It lasted only a few seconds, but it was enough. Enough for the police to narrow their search, to focus on a specific area outside of town. An area known for its dense woods and secluded paths. The call was a lifeline, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. It was a sign that Hannah might still be alive. The police poured all their resources into searching the area. They were determined to find her, to bring her home. Days later, the worst fears were confirmed. A group of volunteers searching the woods made a gruesome discovery. Hannah's body. Discarded, left in the undergrowth, the news spread like wildfire. The town was in shock. Grief engulfed Hannah's family and friends. The police launched a murder investigation. Forensic teams combed the crime scene. Every piece of evidence was meticulously collected, analyzed. They were determined to find Hannah's killer, to bring them to justice, to give her family some sense of closure. The post-mortem examination revealed the brutal truth. Hannah had been strangled. Her body showed signs of a struggle. She had fought for her life. The killer had taken her future, her dreams, her very breath. The police vowed to find them. The forensic evidence pointed to a suspect, a man named James Forbes. He was known to police. He had a history of violence against women. He lived close to where Hannah was last seen. The police released his photo to the public. A nationwide manhunt ensued. Forbes was desperate. He knew the police were closing in. He tried to flee the country, but it was too late. The police apprehended him at the airport. He was extradited back to face justice. He was charged with Hannah's murder. The arrest brought a small measure of relief, but it couldn't bring Hannah back. The trial was set. The town held its breath, waiting for justice to be served, for Hannah's story to be told. Through the unbearable pain, Hannah's family found strength. They channeled their grief into a relentless pursuit of justice. They attended every court hearing. They listened to every witness. They faced the man accused of taking their daughter's life. Their courage resonated throughout the courtroom. Their pain was palpable, their determination unwavering. They wanted the world to know who Hannah was, to remember her, to ensure that her story served as a warning, a reminder that evil exists. They refused to let Hannah's light be extinguished. They set up a foundation in her name to support victims of violence, to educate young people about safety, to keep Hannah's memory alive. The trial was long and arduous. The prosecution presented a compelling case. The defense argued for leniency. In the end, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. James Forbes was found guilty of Hannah Foster's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. Justice had been served. But it was a bittersweet victory. Hannah was gone. Her absence left a gaping hole. In her family, in her community, in the world. But her spirit lived on. Her story became a catalyst for change, for increased awareness about violence against women, for better safety measures in the community, for greater support for victims of crime. Hannah's life, though tragically cut short, had a profound impact. She would never be forgotten.